We're gonna actually turn wood ash into building materials. I really gotta try this. Apparently, ancient civilizations used a mortar made from wood, ash, sand, and water long before modern cement existed. When I heard that, I had to try it. Today, I'm making the mortar and putting it through 3 tests: bond test, a strength test, and a weather test. Let's see if this ancient building material actually works, and let's see if we can pull it off. Here's how they look after 24 hours of drying in the sun. They're pretty hard. Oh, I kind of squeezed a little. Oops. Now we just gotta burn them, I guess. Fire them up. It's been over 2.5 hours of burning in this little makeshift kiln, and it's not glowing. At one point they got really white hot, but they didn't get red or orange. I have a feeling like the kiln, this little mini kiln campfire thing's not gonna be good enough, and that it needs something that creates more heat. But let's see how it does anyway. We're still gonna run it through the tests. Maybe that fire was hot enough. This grate was straight. It's all melted now. So apparently the best ratio for this mixture is 1 part of this calcium lime ash powder to 3 parts aggregate. The ideal aggregate is terracotta or fired clay, but an acceptable alternative is sand or beach sand. However, apparently it's not as permanent. It can be weathered more easily over time, but I can't find clay at the moment, so I'm gonna go with beach sand. I'm gonna strain it out. Apparently, you know these are done when they're super brittle and they just crumble with ease. I've actually lost a couple good ones because I accidentally bumped it into something and it just immediately broke apart. So now we're gonna break these up into a powder, and I guess what happens is the ashes, when you burn it in a fire and it gets red hot, it creates a chemical reaction that turns it into almost like lime. Same thing, we're gonna strain this. Again, I'm doing this for the very first time, unlike the rope experiment that I did. I actually did not do this first to see if I knew how to do it. So we're trying this for the first time together. And if you're new to the channel, and I said before, I am no expert. I am nobody who actually knows anything, or I grew up in Toronto in the city. I came out here and just started learning whatever I could. I do research, I talk to people, and I just start trying things out until I can figure it out. So if I can do it, you can do it. Ideally, you use a mortar and pestle, but I'm not equipped with that at the moment, so I'm just gonna, whatever I can't crush with my hands, that's just where I'm gonna end it. Good enough. Now you're left with this really fine mixture. Almost looks like ashes again. You want a 1-to-3 ratio. So I got this little cup. Not quite a full cup, but just down a little bit. About a little bit less than a fingertip, half a fingertip. So that's one. Let's get our sand. About same thing, down about half a fingertip. 1, 2, 3. Mix all this together evenly till it looks the same shade of same color. Now we're gonna add a little bit of water to turn it into a putty. And again, I've never done this before, so I have no idea how much water to add. So I'm gonna do it very, very slowly. A little bit by little bit. When the water touches it, it wants to turn into a putty right away. This is really just like the texture of a wet sand. So I really hope that this works. In retrospect, I probably should have been measuring how much water I'm putting in there. Yeah, I don't know if beach sand is actually gonna work, because this just feels like wet sand. This doesn't feel like grout or putty, or I'm very, very skeptical that this is gonna work with beach sand. Just looks like wet sand. Like it's not, you know, so it kind of holds together pretty well. Now for the test. Can it bond 2 rocks together for cobblestone or whatever? So in all the videos I watched, they always put water, they always made it wet. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it's to help it bond, but I'm gonna just do it anyway. Okay, water. This stuff on there. Wet rock. Okay. And I'm gonna add some, see there's a gap here, so I'm gonna add some putty around the edges there. I don't want to give any reason why this isn't gonna work. Well, let's let this dry. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a couple little balls on its own. I'm gonna let that harden and dry, and you'll see why in a bit. Since I have some more, I'm gonna do one more experiment. I'm gonna see how well it can bond to a piece of wood. You know, let's say you're trying to build a bench or something. Can you use wood as the frame and then you just putty around it, right? Right now I have it drying in the sun, but I will put it in the greenhouse later overnight and into the morning to prevent it from getting rained on or dew forming on it. It's been 4 days of drying out, so let's see how they turned out. This is the rock bond one. These are the two balls. And then this is the wood, and obviously you can see that the wood one cracked here and a piece fell off. We're gonna check to see if the bonding one actually works. So the very first test that we're gonna do is we're gonna test to see if these actually held. Then we're gonna test the strength of these, and then that fun wood experiment. So first I'm gonna try to pick up the top one to see if it holds the bottom.
Oh, it actually works.
Holy jeez.
Is it like...
That's actually holding. I'm so surprised.
Try?
There's no way. Bond works, which is insane.
Right.
But can it hold up to impact?
Nope.
Only did it not hold, it is completely sand.
So done.
It's just sand at this point. The impact actually made the rock itself chip off. But let's see the material on its own. We're going to test the strength of the material on its own.
I'm scared this is not gonna...
That is the weakest thing I've ever felt. Inside is like just sand. And obviously here's the wood, and it didn't even it didn't even bond at all. So to conclude this experiment, yes, it is possible to make mortar this way. It did hold the rocks together, but it is not strong at all. It's very weak and is not good for a permanent structure. My next experiment is going to be to try to find clay and make some clay bricks. Once I've made clay bricks, then I can make terracotta, and I can try the same experiment terracotta to see how much better that is. But for now, the beach sand thing, like I thought, doesn't really work that well. Maybe for a small temporary structure, but it will not hold up to storms or weather or anything. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, but comment down below if you've done something similar, or maybe you know where I went wrong. I'm going to try to figure it out, but if you have ideas, comment below. What do you think could have made it better? Maybe I put too much sand in there, and we'll see you in the next experiment.